إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستهديه ونسترشده ونعوذ بالله من ذنوبنا ونعوذ بالله من سوء أعمالنا ونعوذ بالله من شياطين الإنس والجن ونسأل الله عز وجل الدعم ونسأل الله عز وجل البركة ونسأل الله عز وجل الاستمرار في عمل الدعوة لوجه الله عز وجل ونصلي ونسلم ونبارك على أشرف الخلق أجمعين سيدي بني آدم محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم اجمعنا معه يوم القيامة ومع أصحابه ومع أحبابه ومع آل بيته الأطهار آمين يا رب العالمين من غير سابقة عذاب. أما بعد. Today's khutbah is about a surah which is Surat Al-Kahf. This surah, it is highly recommended that you read it every Jum'ah at least once. And some people choose to read it every day because of the great lessons and the great barakah in that surah. And when you sail in the ocean of this great surah, you will find all the treasures you need in life. And it will take a lot of khutbah to be able to cover the messages and the beauty and the blessings in this surah. So today I chose few for you inshallah and for myself as a reminder. And I urge everyone to have this great habit, the great ibadah of reading Surat Al-Kahf every Jum'ah. So Allah Azza wa Jal will forgive, according to Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the authentic hadith, between one Jum'ah and another Jum'ah. If you perform Jum'ah, if you read Surat Al-Kahf, whatever sins you commit in between them, especially of course the sins that the Sagha'ir, not the Kaba'ir, they need a different kind of repentance. Those sins will be inshaAllah forgiven if you read Surat Al-Kahf every Jum'ah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. The surah starts by praising Allah Azza wa Jal, the one who have descended the book, the Quran. And he descended it on his servant Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And he, in this kitab, there is no awaj, there is no misguidance, it's full of guidance. There is no loss, it's full of success. The beginning of ayat always tells you about what are the messages of the whole surah. So Allah Azza wa Jal wants in this beginning of the ayat to catch your attention. In this surah you will find the real guidance and you will find the real reasons of sending this book upon Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to teach us the lessons of life. قَيِّمًا لِيُنذِرَ بَأْسًا شَدِيدًا مِنْ لَدُنْهُ. Allah is in many surah starts by warning us from the misguidance. And we have to understand that knowing the results of our actions is part of knowledge that is essential. For those who only wants to hear good news and inshallah the Jannah is great, don't worry, Allah is Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, of course. But also He's Shadidul Iqab wa Shadidul Adhab. So, لِيُنذِرَ بَأْسًا شَدِيدًا, you are warned, we are warned of a great type of strength that is available to hold us accountable for our actions. And then وَيُبَشِّرَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ الصَّالِحَاتِ أَنَّ لَهُمْ أَجْرًا حَسَنًا. So alhamdulillah, we live between Nadir wa Bashir, warning and glad tiding, good news and watch out. So the beginning of the surah tells us the principle that we need to maintain and keep in mind. We jump from ayah 2 to ayah 7 and 8. Ayah 7 and 8 says, إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا مَا عَلَى الْأَرْضِ زِينَةً لَهَا لِنَبْلُوَهُمْ أَيُّهُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا وَإِنَّا لَجَاعِلُونَ مَا عَلَيْهَا صَعِيدًا جُرُزًا. It tells you the story of life, why you are here and where you are going, in 2 ayat. MashaAllah. And these 2 ayat, please listen carefully and please sit with your family today and talk with them about it. Allah tells you that we made everything on earth zina. And if you go to the original meaning of zina, it is the simplest way to say it is when someone puts makeup, when someone designs or decorate a place. And if you ask anyone a question, is that design or decoration, is it an essential part of the place or it is something added to it? Is something to beautify it? The answer, of course, the zina, the decoration, the makeup is to beautify, to make it even look better, but it's not part of it. So the life, our life on earth, it was beautified by the things we see. It's not the beauty we see, it is not the real beauty. The people wants to enjoy the haram, that enjoyment is not a real enjoyment. And why Allah beautified earth for us and made it appealing and gave us all this shahawat? The shahwa, the need of eating food, even more than we just need. The shahwa for getting married, the shahwa for having, shahwa means the desire for having more cars and wealth, and the war is all about, I want more and more. We're always hungry for more of dunya. And we understand that this dunya is the zina. Allah put a lot of things that to beautify it. When you beautify it means it's not beautiful. Why? Allah said, لِنَبْلُوَهُمْ أَيُّهُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. If Allah made everything clear and there is no beautifying and you see haqq and batil just like this, the test is not there. The real test is when it's a young child, you tell him a lot of candies is not good for your health, and then you keep the candy in front of him. But if you keep no candy in the house, no sweets, he has no access to wrongdoings. So yes, Allah has created evil and good, right and wrong, and He gave us the choice and the power of choice. Why? لِنَبْلُوَهُمْ, to test them. And it's up to you to pass the test. And Allah gave you the means to pass the test and the reminders to pass the test. Constant reminders. لِنَبْلُوَهُمْ أَيُّهُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا وَإِنَّا لَجَاعِلُونَ مَا عَلَيْهَا صَعِيدًا جُرُزًا. And oh, you son of Adam, we will make sure that everything you see on earth, the beauty of earth, the fake beauty of earth, the desires that you have and you strive for, we're gonna take it all away and make it originally like Sa'idan Jurza. They say, the Mufassirin, like a white land that has no features, have no decoration, is nothing on it. It's like when you're on a desert and looking and there's nothing in the horizon. This is the real earth, the real life. Everything is done for the test. So those 2 ayat, إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا مَا عَلَى الْأَرْضِ زِينَةً لَهَا. Inna, when Allah say inna, He's catching your attention. We have, there is tashdid on noon. جَعَلْنَا, there's a lot of stressing on the word. Everything, مَا عَلَى الْأَرْضِ, not some, not few, everything you see on earth, it is zina, to beautify it. And it's not there for us to kill ourselves for, to strive 24/7 for. It's there to test us. It's a great message. And then everything on earth will be Sa'idan Jurza, will go back to how Allah originally created earth. No beauty, no water, no trees, no fun, nothing, no buildings. Sa'idan Jurza. Yawm al-Qiyamah, when we wake up from our temporary death you will see Sa'id and Jurza, and we wait for Rahmatullah Azza wa Jal. Now we go to other lessons in Surat Al-Kahf. Beautiful surah. A lot of us becomes, they read it without really understanding it. It's important to understand it when you read it. Allah is telling us about the war between haqq and batil, between goodness and evil. There is always a conflict, and that is a test. But Allah is giving you a lot of stories I choose here 4 in Surat Al-Kahf, the main 4 stories, that when this battle between good and evil, which happens in our daily life, how it starts and how it ends. We get an example. قصة فتية الكهف. When few young youth, when you say fitya are youth, and some ulama said when you say fitya, al-fata, from around 13 years old to around 20, 21, he's young. These, when they tried to connect with Allah Azza wa Jal and acquire iman, and they know and they were afraid that they will be tortured because of their iman, and they did not have the chance or the ability to convey that iman to everybody. It seems that the ruler and the system in that town or village was so harsh, and they hunt mu'mins down. So it starts with a sad story. Few mu'mins living in a place where non-believers are there, and they're scared to death. They were scared to lose their life. Left everything behind, took very little food, and in the middle of the night left the town. Going to the mountain area, very far, rural, and stayed in a cave because it's too cold or too hot, and slept hoping for the rahmah of Allah. No mention for a plan, no mention for a city. They just are fleeing for their life. It makes you feel sad. Why? This haqq, people of haqq, where is the support for those haqq? Allah Azza wa Jal, for some people they say He needs to intervene and make them win. But what did we find at the end of the story? Which all of us know, mashallah, tabarakallah. Allah made them as an icon to be read and mentioned through until Yawm al-Qiyamah by billions and billions of all mu'mineen. Allah made them a lesson for us that you do not give away your iman or faith for anything, even if you have to leave all the wealth and the family behind. They became so famous more than many, many other people who accomplished anything in the world. And Allah made their story, according to some narrations, the whole village gradually became mu'mins because they followed the steps of these young boys who held to their iman and strongly and never gave up. Another story, قصة الرجلين الذي عند أحدهما جنتين أصحاب الجنتين. 2 close friends grew together, and the way the Quran mentioned them, they were so close. But one of them, subhanallah, became very wealthy, and maybe he inherited farms, and he inherited beautiful lands, that much that it was called Jannatain. When you call Jannah, Al-Jannah, it's the land with a lot of trees, and the trees are so much interacting with each other. The branches goes together, and very fruitful, and they produce a lot of fruit. Not only that, between these 2 big, beautiful farms, there was a river that the water goes in. Something at that time considered the dream of everybody. And the other friend, he was just a poor guy who owned nothing except maybe his daily, he has small work. There are no details, but we know that he doesn't have that wealth like his friend. So the friend was so proud of his wealth, and he mentioned it in front of the other poor friend in a way that did not seem right, because he's referring the power and referring the reason of the wealth for himself. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. So now again the story starts. Batil is strong, dhulm is strong, evil is strong, haqq is weak. That's how it started. But subhanAllah, what happened at the end of this story? The same thing that happened with Al-Kahf, that this wealthy guy, so arrogant, lost everything in a blink of an eye. And Allah showed him the real power. And if the other friend told him, didn't I remind you? Didn't I tell you, whatever you own, it's from Allah, and you have to thank Allah for it. So this story tell us again, don't worry. You are created, if you follow haqq, if you follow guidance like the beginning of the surah, that there is no iwaj in Quran, in Sunnah, in Hadith, in the Islam, straight path, don't worry, Allah will make you victorious. Hold into your iman and deen, like the fitya did in the beginning of the surah, and like the poor guy who believed so much in Allah. So these two stories, inshallah, more to come. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه يا فوز المستغفرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Today we are sailing in the ocean of Surat Al-Kahf, finding the treasures that are there available for us for almost 1,500 years. A surah that we read every Jum'ah. We should read every Jum'ah, but we also should understand and grasp lessons from. We spoke about the real reason of life, that we are tested. We spoke about that it is a battle between haqq and batil, and always follow haqq and don't worry about results, whether the results happens immediately or later. And we gave two stories of the surah that proves that. Another story, قصة سيدنا موسى عليه السلام مع العبد الصالح. Musa عليه السلام, one of the 5 best prophets in the Quran, mentioned that he was from ulul azmi min ar-rusul, those who have really suffered and strived to help their people and went through a lot. And this one of the only story that had mentioned so many times was the story of the children of Israel with Musa alayhi salam in Quran. From the beginning to the end, it was mentioned more than any other story. And not because just to make us have good time listening to the story, to grasp lessons from it. So what happened? It started also, Musa alayhi salam, the Nabi, Kalimullah, the only person on earth that Allah made him talk to him without any mediator, not through Jibreel alayhi salam, was such a big status. He could not understand for a while the wisdom behind things that are not clear. Allah have sent him to Abd Salih, we know the story, and he always felt there's something not right about what happened. The hikmah was not there, the wisdom behind the Abd Salih opening a hole in a ship, Al-Abd Salih hitting a boy and the boy fell down and died. The Abd Salih, the righteous man, built a wall in a village that nobody in that village gave them even a sip of a water, and they were very hungry and they were travelers. And that time, a traveler who passes by a village or a town, he should be treated in generosity, with generosity. And he kept asking the question, although he was told to wait until the end. But that seemed, the act of Al-Abd Salih seemed like a lot of things, that this is not haqq, this is not right. How people, the ship, the owners of the ship were poor people. That is the only means of living they have, and they agreed to carry you for free, according to the narrations of that story. Okay, you can come, you don't have money, you to come free. And then when you go there, you make a hole that gets water inside, make a crack in the ship. It looks not right. Subhanallah, but it was the most right thing to do. Because a very unjust king was always taking the ships away from the poor guys, and he's getting richer, and he's stealing the means of life, means of living from people. So what seems to you not right might be the most right thing to do. So if you don't understand something, don't judge it. One of the lessons here, don't judge before you understand, and be patient. And the last story in the surah talks about Dhul Qarnayn, the great king that Allah Azza wa Jal have blessed with great iman, and his mission in life was to Nasr al-Madlumin, win for those who are oppressed, help those who are weak, push back the enemies of Haqq. That's his mission. That's what a king should do. That's what a leader should do. And that's why in our homes, that's our job to do. Always win for the Haqq and put the oppression out, push it out in any way you can. This person, mashallah, it begins by him traveling from one place to another. And then he found, now again, a sad story. People who believes in Allah, or they were very weak, very poor, are suffering every now and then from the invaders of their neighbors. They live behind the mountain. They come and they steal sheep, they steal women and children, they kill whomever they can, and they take all the means of life, the fruits, the vegetables, whatever harvest they find, they steal it. That's the way they live. And then when they found this righteous king coming, and his job is to win for the being oppressed and push the oppressors away and fight the oppressors, the dhullam, they told him, please help us. And of course, mashallah, he built a wall with their help, and the wall is available until today. And it will only be opened and knocked down Yawm al-Qiyamah, and the people behind it called Ya'juj and Ma'juj. These are the two tribes who are oppressors. So the end of the story is a glad tiding. So Surat Al-Kahf gives you a lot of examples that you are here to live in the life. Do not be overwhelmed by the zina that you see. And you have to stay on the straight path and follow the guidance of Allah Azza wa Jal through His book, because وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ عِوَجًا. And then give you examples of real stories that happened in life, where even in the beginning the haqq was weak or small in size, or it took time before the haqq won. But be patient, trust in Allah Azza wa Jal. And one of the things I really want you today to go home with, that one of the haqq that we have to be victorious in is teaching our children how to use the analysis of stories in Quran and convert it to actions in life. Believe me, brothers and sisters, if we only pick a story once a week and we read it with our children, read the ayat and read the tafsir from Surat Al-Kahf and from Surah Yusuf, from any surah, Surah Maryam, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah. Telling stories to our children and family and talk, on a cup of tea with our wives will help them understand the beauty message of Islam. And they can see the example. In this country, because Muslims are minority, we need to set examples for our families, and we as Muslims to set examples for the other communities. And one example of that is Birrul Walidain. Please, 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 set an example in your homes. We as an adult, we call our parents, we should visit our parents, we give Sadaqah fi sabilillah on behalf of our parents, to set a good example for Birrul Walidain. Be righteous and be good to your parents. That's number one. Alhamdulillah, today, just a few minutes ago, I received a call from my son. One of my children he visited his grandfather and grandmother, my parents, in Dubai. And he's still there because lockdown and stuff. And he told me something was very happy, and I wanted to share it with you. He told me, Dad, I've seen when you grow up, how you will be, how weak you get. And because he saw my mom. And he have seen my brothers taking care of my mother. So he said, I promise you when I come back, I will do more than I used to do. And I'll help you and my mom in their house. He's only 18 years old. So it was a good feeling because he's seen a good example there, and he's always reminded to be good with his parents. So remember this battle of al-haq and batil. Remember to teach this to your children. Remember to be good to your parents so your children will be good to you, and teach them all about Quran. Remember to use stories because it makes it so easy to understand. And remember to make dua all the time so Allah Azza wa Jal will elevate this situation on the ummah. We're very happy that today we're working on 30%. Inshallah, in very soon we'll have it full house bi'idhnillah Azza wa Jal. Last but not least, do not forget your masjid with your donation. As a ummah, we have to get together, and any penny you give fi sabilillah, it comes back to you with unlimited of great news, great blessings, and great even money increases. So let's do the dua inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma ighfir lana warhamna. Allahumma ighfir lana warhamna. Allahumma ighfir lana warhamna. Allahumma اهدنا إلى سواء السبيل. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا هداة مهديين ولا تجعلنا ضالين ولا مضلين. اللهم اجعلنا بارين بآبائنا وأمهاتنا واجعل أبناءنا بارين بنا. آمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا من المتصدقين والمتصدقات. اللهم اجعلنا من القانتين والقانتات. اللهم اجعلنا من المجاهدين والمجاهدات. اللهم اصلح شأننا كله. اللهم اصلح شأننا كله. اللهم اجعلنا نحشر مع محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم في الفردوس الأعلى من غير سابقة عذاب. اللهم اجعلنا نشرب من يده الشريفة شربة ماء لا نظمأ بعدها أبدا. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما. اللهم لا تجعل بيننا ولا معنا ولا منا لا محروما ولا مذنبا ولا مجربا ولا مطرودا من رحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. قال الله عز وجل إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وأقم الصلاة.